we have gotten brand new teasers for Richtofen's return in Black Ops 6 Zombies. So as you know, Richtofen is finally going to be front and center, the main integral part of the storyline once again, after he was working in the shadows in the background of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, navigating and controlling everything from behind the scenes, as revealed as the director of Requiem. But after he shut down Requiem, he is continuing his operation that he was working on throughout Cold War Zombies, and for all we know, even before the events of Cold War Zombies itself, which is known as Project Janus. Now, of course, I've talked about Project Janus in so many videos before, so you probably already have an idea of what this is, but just for a quick summary, we know that Janus is the god of beginnings, transitions, and gateways. Now, we're not even sure if necessarily the god itself ties into the name. We don't know what the name means, or if it even has a meaning. For all we know, it could have just been chosen at pure random, just like the Red Eyes and Mob of the Dead. But if it has a meaning, that could be a potential link. Now, we don't know what Project Janus actually is, but we have new teasers for it, which I'll come onto in a second, but we know it's basically going to be the main focus of Black Ops 6 Zombies, as if we are going up against Richtofen, it will be going up against this project in specific, as he has had an overarching plan that has been spanning decades working on this, a very meticulous plan. Now, it is very likely that Project Janus requires a giant gateway, but we don't know what for, whether it's to rescue his son Samuel that might now be trapped in the Dark Ether, whether it's to harness Dark Ether powers, whether it has something to do with becoming the Archon with the constructs from Vanguard Zombies. We're not exactly sure what the purpose is. All we know is that it does require a giant gateway because it was proposed for Project Janus to use the giant gateway that Valentina had on Mauer de Toten, but Richtofen said the time was not right to the board of directors and would cause the total destruction of the world if they proceeded at that time. So most likely Project Janus is why the zombies break out again in Black Ops 6 Zombies, due to this gateway being opened. That's just my assumption, but again, it's unclear as to why he requires this gateway itself. Now, we've also speculated in prior videos that maybe Janus has something to do with Ava Jansen. I mean, there's a slight connection with the name there, although that might not mean anything considering that Ava was adopted to the Jansens, so that just happened after the fact, way after the name Janus was actually given to the operation. So it is unclear what exactly is going on, but we know that the connection that the entity and Ava Jansen have in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, as the entity spawned at the exact moment that Ava was born, has caused her to be a living bond, a living gateway to the Dark Ether, which is why I have speculated in videos maybe she may tie into Janus in some way. Now, we also know that Samantha Maxis's current location is classified 6776 days ago under Project Janus, so the whereabouts of Samantha again ties into whatever is happening with Project Janus. Now, we know that Richtofen needed Samantha to be out of the way, trapping the Forsaken in the containment chamber at the end of Cold War Zombies, but it's unclear if he requires Samantha specifically to be in the Dark Ether because he might require her for another purpose in the future, or maybe he just required her out of the way to trap the Forsaken, and because she was a powerful being, to also remove her from any potential chaos that she might cause in the upheaval of Project Janus specifically. We know, of course, that Richtofen manipulated Samantha in Block 8 during Cold War Zombies into her harnessing her Dark Ether powers, but we don't know if that's because he requires Samantha's powers in the future for something to do with Project Janus, or he just required her to have these powers so that she could stop the Forsaken and trap the Forsaken in the containment chamber. And we also don't know if Richtofen requires the Forsaken in the containment chamber for Janus as well, because it is interesting that he has kept the Forsaken in the containment chamber. He didn't have it fully defeated. Theoretically, the Forsaken can return in the future. I mean, after all, the announcer in Modern Warfare Zombies sounds eerily similar to the Forsaken. We don't know if the Dark Ether has just copied his voice, or if somehow he has returned. Now, before I dive deeper into Richtofen's goal with Project Janus, as well as new teasers that we specifically have for it, I first have a very awesome zombie game for you to try out whilst we wait for the release of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Stay tuned and enjoy. Zombies fans, I have the perfect game for you. I'm thrilled to share with you an incredible game that I've been hooked on lately, Infection-Free Zone. Imagine this, you're in a world where the mad virus has spread like wildfire. In a matter of weeks, society as we know it has collapsed. No no electricity, no water, no food. Cities are empty, yet there are a few survivors, and it's up to you to lead them. Infection-free zone lets you choose any real place in the world to start your adventure. Yes, that's right. How cool is that? Have you ever been pondering on what an apocalyptic scenario like this would be like in the actual world you live in? Well, you can put that hypothetical into practice today. You just type in the name of your city or town, download the map, and start playing. Thanks to OpenStreetMap's real-world data, you can choose literally anywhere in the real world. I personally live in London, so let's explore the game from there. Picture this, rebuilding a settlement right in the heart of London. The landmarks you know and love have become part of your strategy. You could set up defences around Buckingham Palace, use the Thames as a natural barrier, or search for supplies in the iconic Harrods. Imagine turning the Shard into a fortified watchtower, or using the underground as a network of secure tunnels. Every corner of the city you know becomes a piece of the puzzle in your fight for survival. In the game, you establish a new safe haven wherever you choose. You will set up shelters, adapt existing buildings for new seeds, and build farms and powerhouses. You'll have to be strategic. Where were the grocery stores and pharmacies? What's the best place to defend? Where would you look for weapons? Your knowledge of the city becomes a vital tool for survival, so whilst yes, you could choose anywhere in the real world, it would probably feel closer to home, as well as you will likely be better at survival if you actually live in the place, since you will literally know where everything is, feeding into your strategy plan, and will be more lifelike to the real world experience you might encounter should this ever happen in the real world. But if you're ever feeling adventurous, you can choose other places in the world too, or if after you've been playing for a while in your hometown or city, you can venture out for greater challenges, or go to places you've been on holiday before, or have less knowledge but are still somewhat knowledgeable. But be careful, searching old buildings can be dangerous. The infected might be lurking in the dark. Each night your settlement could be attacked by hordes of the infected. You'll need to defend your zone with everything you've got. Melee and ranged weapons, vehicles, walls, and a light. And the ultimate goal, research a vaccine or a cure for the virus. But the challenges don't end there. Your zone isn't the only one that exists. You'll find other surviving groups, some friendly and willing to trade, and others that are extremely hostile. Be prepared for anything, including some intense fighting. Right now, Infection-Free Zone has entered beta early access on Steam, and there's a special 20% off promotion, but hurry, this offer ends on July 11th. Plus, there are even larger discounts on all of the DLC additional content bundles, so if you're ready to dive into a thrilling world where you can rebuild and defend your city, check out the link below. Infection-Free Zone is the game for you. Grab it now and start your adventure. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. And a huge thank you to the developers Jutsu Games and the publisher Games Operators for kindly sponsoring this video so I could showcase it for you. I will be playing, so I'll hopefully see you in-game. Enjoy. But the biggest thing about Project Janus, before I get into the new teasers, is that we know it is being funded by an uber-rich group of shareholders. Now, whilst in videos I often refer to it as Richtofen's Project Janus, we don't actually know, I guess technically speaking, if Richtofen is the lead of Project Janus. He is a part of Project Janus, of course, but it seems like all of the shareholders have a say in the matter. We don't know who these shareholders are. We have speculated in prior videos they could be descendants of the Societe Occult, who were collecting the tome of ritual pages in Vanguard Zombies and Artifacts and stuff like that. They were doing Dark Ether rituals. You know, potentially their descendants may go on to be these uber-rich shareholders. And basically, you can just think of the Societe Occult as being similar to the Illuminati, a shadowy organization, similar to what we had in the original Ether story with Richtofen working with the Illuminati. But just like how in the original Ether story, Richtofen was using the Illuminati's help for his own agenda, it seems likely that the shareholders and Richtofen both have a different purpose for Janus, but may require the same things. So for example, whatever the shareholders want for this giant gateway to be opened is probably different from why Richtofen wants it, but he's just using their backing and their money for his own nefarious agenda. That's likely what is happening, but again, I'm not sure how everything else ties into it. We're going to have to wait and see, but I'm really excited to see how the future plays out. And of course, our Requiem heads are escaping with Dr. Peck and Maya on Terminus Island from their prison that they were held in by Richtofen for 5 years. They're breaking out in 1981 when a zombie outbreak occurs, simultaneously on Liberty Falls as well, the town in West Virginia that Richtofen had closed off from the public. Again, that probably ties into Janus as well. Maybe that could be the location of the gateway. Who knows? But here is the new information about Project Janus. Throughout Black Ops 6's marketing, Project Janus has been appearing literally everywhere. It's on the main cover art, it's on the website, it's been in the campaign trailer. It's appearing literally everywhere non-stop. So Project Janus is seemingly a massive part of Black Ops 6 Zombies, but we actually now have the Steelbook case for Black Ops 6. Now this is exclusive to GameStop, Game in the UK, and other select retailers around the world. I'll leave a link to the GameStop page in this video's description, but they've posted a video showcasing the artwork, and it has Adler on the cover, which looks really cool. This is definitely a really nice collectible. Of course, having discs is kind of irrelevant now because the actual game is not on the disc. You're basically just paying to have a permanent copy of it that you then actually have to still download it from online when you put the disc in. I guess the only purpose to buy this is for a collector's item, or if you don't want to risk the chance that you lose your login or get hacked or something on your online account, which is definitely a deterrent to digital purposes. Anyways, not only does it mention Janus on the outside, just like on the other images I showed before, but specifically on the inside is the Project Janus logo, literally where the disc goes. And this looks so cool. And this is interesting that this is our first look at it. I'm not sure if Treyarch wanted us to see the Janus logo right now, or if this is just pure coincidence. I'm sure GameStop and stuff have a different schedule separate to Activision. Of course, they need approval for certain things, but maybe this has come out a bit early. Maybe Treyarch were planning on revealing the Janus logo later on, but nevertheless, we have it now. Now, like I said, this ties back into the fact that we know an uber-rich group are funding this. Project Janus is not just Richtofen's project. It's a literal group, an organization comprised of these shareholders that Richtofen is probably one of as well. Now, of course, he shut down Requiem at the end of COD BO6 Zombies, so this is what he is doing next. And this has, similarly to Requiem, the CIA's backing. And Richtofen has a lot of high-up officials in government at his behest. Of course, he had Klaus kill everyone that found out about Project Janus on Mauer de Toten, so he's trying to keep this very secret and under wraps. But what I find interesting is that all of these Janus references are popping up all over Black Ops 6's marketing, even in the campaign trailer. And it's making me think, what if Janus ties into a bigger part of Black Ops 6 as a whole, and not just zombies? Now, many people have pointed out, yes, previous hard covers of Black Ops games have also featured zombie artwork on, such as Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 2. And whilst that is true, like I said, Janus is not just appearing on the hard copy, but it's also been appearing in all other aspects of the marketing. So like I said, maybe it is going to be a larger part of the game. After all, we know that the CIA is all about some sort of secret organization known as Pantheon infiltrating the CIA, which does sound eerily similar to what Richtofen is up to. Richtofen planted himself literally as the director of Requiem and seemingly has infiltrated the CIA, working on his own agenda, his own goal with Project Janus. So I wonder if there is a connection there, but maybe there isn't, and I'm looking too deep into this. But even if there isn't a connection to Janus and the overall game and the campaign, the fact that Janus is appearing on literally all of the marketing means that it's going to be so important, and Treyarch are making zombies a main focus of this game. It's literally plastered all over the marketing, which has me very excited. But let's talk about the logo itself. Now, just from a first glance, it really, to me, looks like a gateway, which, like I said, Janus probably has something to do with the gateway, so that's just one idea there. Now, Mr. Dalek JD has recreated this logo, so a big thank you to him for doing this, so you can kind of get a clearer look at it. And through his research, he found out that there is an isotoxal star in the center, which is why you see the 4 different light beams coming from it. So thank you to him for that research. I really don't know what this means, though, in terms of Janus, if this star is even relevant at all to actually the storyline and the lore of Janus, or if this is chosen for just for some reason that doesn't really matter that much. You can also see the shooting stars on either side. Kind of resembles, I think, a little bit of the Perseus logo, in my opinion, just kind of aesthetically with the color scheme. Let me know in the comments if there's any theories you have regarding this logo and how it pertains to Janus as a whole, and also let me know if you have noticed anything else about this logo in specific, and if I think it's worthwhile, I may cover it in a future video. I wonder if maybe harnessing the power of a star could literally be how a gateway is opened. Maybe it's such a big gateway that it literally requires the entire energy of a star, but that's probably incorrect. Anyways, let me know if you are excited for the return of Richtofen. I really am. I can't wait to see what he's up to. Piecing together his plan over these years has been really exciting. I've made literally a million videos on Janus. Honestly, people don't seem that engaged in it. Maybe it's because it's so mysterious right now and we know so little about what its actual goal is that people aren't getting engaged, but I'm sure once Black Ops 6 Zombie swings around, or maybe once we get another trailer or something like that and Richtofen might be physically in it, then people are going to be more excited. I wonder if Treyarch are going to reveal any details further about Richtofen and Janus before release to give us something to talk about. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and Bye.